Okay, guys, welcome to Sunday night on Dave's LFC Chats. Keith is with me as usual, but we have a debutant on tonight. First time on the show. Dan.
Hi guys.
Mighty Reds.
Hi Dave. Hi Keith. Hi everyone watching. To the millions watching at home.
All right, kid. Yeah. Now listen. We'll hopefully Depends how well this goes. You might be on again. Okay. Yeah.
You're on trial.
You're on trial.
Trial.
Obviously, smiling faces on the three of us and millions of Liverpool fans around the world. We got the 2-0 yesterday. Clean sheet. 2 goals. 2 goals at Anfield. That's unbelievable. Unheard of. And 3 points. But it wasn't, to be fair, it wasn't the perfect performance by any stretch of imagination. But Dan, you're the debutant. We'll give you the first say on this. What did you think of the game? Put you on the spot, baby. What do you think yesterday?
I think you've pretty much summed it up, Dave. It was very similar to a lot of the home games that we've seen this season, where we've huffed and puffed and we've created a lot of chances. We've missed a lot of chances. Keeper's made a few good saves for them, and but the difference was this time we've managed to bundle one in. Obviously, the first goal was a great goal, wasn't it? Lovely cross off Salah, tidy header by Mane. So that was good. But then even after that, towards the end, I was thinking, oh, is this going to be like the Newcastle game, like the Leeds game, where we're going to concede a late goal? It looked on the cards, didn't it? Yeah. I was nervous, and there was a late goal. Yeah. But thank God it went the right way, you know. So that was brilliant. But yeah, not a great performance at all. But we got the 2-0 win, didn't we? So you can't really argue. And back hopefully in the Champions League chase.
Yeah. And a few results went our way, as we'll talk about now in a minute as well. But Keith, what did you think of it, the 2-0? Scrappy?
It was a tough watch. I found it really difficult to watch, to be honest with you. I found it really frustrating. For a couple of reasons. I just thought we'd very little control over the game, to be honest with you. It was almost back to 15, 16. It was kind of basketball, football, with loads of transitions, loads of balls being turned over. It just felt like we were, it felt like there was a sucker punch in that game. The second goal went in. And Alisson getting man of the match. I think Wiley was given man of the match, pulled off a couple of great saves. And listen, we were always going to cough up chances with those two boys at playing at centre back with the high line that we play. Like there is a blueprint to beat us, and Southampton nearly executed it on a couple of occasions with just balls down the channels or balls over the top, and we've been talking about it for weeks. But he's not going to change the way he plays.
No.
He's basically kind of saying, when we have everybody back, this is the way we play, and the way we play is good enough to beat anybody. So with the right personnel in the right position, but. It was a tough watch. It really was a tough watch.
It was. No, you're right.
It's 2 points, and the rebuild is, the next season starts now. So the rebuild starts now. So the more, like, I read something there today that I think we've accumulated more points over the last few weeks, last month or so than City and Chelsea in terms of our wins and points. So we've been doing quite well, but none of us are saying we've been doing quite well, because we're looking at the performances week in, week out, kind of going, we're not really comfortable or we're not really happy, but we're unbeaten in a good stretch now, So we're doing okay without playing okay. The results seem to go. So that was my hot take from last night.
Yeah. I haven't got much to say about it. As you said, it was a hard watch. It really was. I was nearly going to go on my famous walk. It didn't work, though. I didn't in the end. No, I didn't. I see you did, though, did you?
I nearly did. I nearly switched it off.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Because last 10 minutes, I was going to disappear, just not watch the telly. Hope to turn the telly on, and the result was in.
It's nerve-wracking, isn't it? It's nerve-wracking.
Fucking hell. I mean, those 2 draws could come back to haunt us. The Leeds, and the Newcastle. Let's hope they don't. But I mean, we're still in a. Listen, it's only a slight chance, lads. Let's be real. Even with the results going against us this weekend. What do you think, Dan?
Well, I spoke to you about a month ago on another podcast, and you said we're just hanging in there by our fingertips, and you're still saying it a month later.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I thought after Newcastle, that's it now. That's it. Dead and buried. Finished. Finito. Gone. Done and dusted. We're not getting in the Champions League next year. But the other teams keep opening the door, don't they? I mean, obviously Leicester lost. No one was expecting that. Everyone was expecting them to turn Newcastle over. Got beat, was it 4-0? And I tell you something, them 2 goals they scored at the end, they might actually be crucial, you know, because the goal difference is so tight up there.
They've a 2+ on us. They've 2+ on us.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the 2 goals that they scored. So they could be absolutely crucial. West Ham have lost. I think they've lost 3 in the last 4. No one's really expecting Everton to turn them over. They've been turned over. Now, 5th at least is in our own hands if we win all our games. And we've just got to try and catch. Well, it would be 3, but obviously Leicester have just got a slightly better goal difference. But 4 points on Leicester. Looking at Leicester's games, they've got some tough ones, haven't they? I think the big games this week that are going to make or break it.
Yeah, we know Thursday at 10 o'clock. I think we'd have a very good idea in terms of whether we're still in with a shout.
Yeah,
you know, like United have gone big today, right? In terms of their selection. Okay, they've picked up an injury to Maguire, right? Which could be for the rest of the season. But
could it be that bad? Was it that bad? Was it?
Yeah, I heard something that it could be, unless there's only 3 games left. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I think the freezer's broken the fridge.
But like, he's not going to go big 3 times this week. Yeah, you know. So like, you can see him. Like, listen, if you were those, right, like, they've pretty much secured Champions League football with that result there today, and pretty much cemented themselves in the 2nd place. So they can afford now to take the foot off the pedal for the remainder of the season, right? I'd fully expect them to make huge amounts of wholesale changes for Tuesday night against Leicester.
But that's bad for us, Keith. That's bad for us.
Yeah, it is bad for us.
That's really bad.
He'll probably go big for the last time this season. And because all they'll have to play for is the Europa League, and he'll go big against us on Thursday, to be honest with you. So,
so, you know, people, in a way, that fucking.
Listen, if you're a conspiracy theorist, you know, in terms of them trying to fucking do us in, they roll over Tuesday and go big against us on Thursday.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
That's pretty much what they're going to do, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's it's well, if Liverpool were in the same position, they'd probably, as you say, they'd probably do the same thing, wouldn't they? Really, United, Liverpool.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We've rested players before, haven't we?
What?
I was just going to say, we've rested players before.
Yeah.
Sorry, keep talking over you there. I was going.
Go on.
No, I was going to say, we've been in positions before where we've had nothing to play for and we've rested players and it's cost other teams. Neil Warnock still hates us, doesn't he, from about 20 years ago? So listen, it comes back to you sometimes and you just have to get on with it. But yeah, I'd have no problems with them doing that.
I've no problem with it. You know, I've no problem. Like, we did do what we were supposed to do against Blackburn that season. I don't think that favour has ever been reciprocated, particularly in the run-in against they rolled over against City a couple of years ago as well, didn't they? Like, that absolutely just didn't even try to kick a fucking football in that match. So listen, we're not going to get any favours off them, but they've still got Chelsea to play and they've still got Spurs to play after that, you know. So,
but I think well, that's it. They got Chelsea as well.
Yeah, are we good enough? Are we good enough to win our last? You know, are we good enough to win our last 3?
Last 4.
Yeah,
but it's tough, innit? Because listen, the most games we've won on the run all season is 3. That's our longest consecutive winning run. So we've won 1 now. Can we win another 4 and make it 5? You know, that's a big ask, isn't it? We'll wait. Well,
the odds would say no, wouldn't they? I mean,
exactly.
You know, but if any team can do it, or any manager can do it, it's surely this bloody team, lads. We're still champions, by the way. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Let's finish the bloody season like champions. That's all I can say. At least let's go for the last 4 games. Give it a go in every bloody game. Give ourselves a little chance. But even, it'll give us something going into next season, Dan.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I mean, you were talking about a rebuild there. And listen, we do need to tweak it over to summer. We all know that. How much easier is that going to be with Champions League football? It's the fillip that all the best players want. And also the money. You know, we don't like to talk about it, but it's vital, innit? If you don't get it, that's going to really hamper our chances of whatever rebuild that we need.
Yeah. I just see John Moore has something in here. There's talk that they will try to get the game called off again. If that happens, surely we have to get the points. We just said that earlier, Dan.
Yeah.
Call it off. Null and void.
It goes as a 3-0 win as well, so it'll even give us the goal difference boost.
You know what? I think the three of us should fucking head over ourselves and cause absolute fucking mayhem.
I know.
Yeah. Rent a crowd.
Yeah. Dig out me throwing points, just call over to one of my mates and say, that green and gold scarf you've got, that just give us a loan of that, will you, for a couple of nights?
For fuck's sake. But before we talk about the United game, obviously that's the next big one. The game yesterday, lads, two good things to take out of it. One was Alisson looked like he was back to some sort of the form that we expect from Alisson, because he went through a bit of a dip for me in the last few months. He got man of the match yesterday, official man of the match, and he won us that game, to be fair. There was key moments in that game where if they would have scored, they could have won the bloody game, never mind us win the 2-0. And Mane getting a goal, I thought was good for his confidence going forward. He needed a goal really, really much. And Thiago, three things. Thiago getting his first goal. So Alisson, Dan, he was good yesterday, Alisson. Back to his best.
He was. Listen, he's had some stick this season. I always sort of, I'm always reluctant to give any of this squad stick because they've done so many things for us, haven't they? They've won everything there is. I am a top red, as you know. I apologise if that offends anybody, but I am. So I do give these players, I do cut them a bit of slack, and I've definitely cut Alisson's a bit of slack, because not only has it been, a season that, no one could have expected, he's also had the off the field thing, hasn't he, with his dad passing away tragically. So I don't expect anyone to be on top form. He's had a tragic event happen to him. He probably wants to get home to Brazil. He's probably not bothered about Liverpool v Burnley at home, is he? Let's be honest, none of us would be. I wasn't. Do you know what I mean? Or I wouldn't have been in this situation. But now he does seem to be getting back to a bit of top form. That first save he made yesterday, I think it was 45 seconds later, we got the goal. Brilliant. Yeah. He was absolutely on his top form yesterday. Man of the match, and deservedly so. Mane's another one. I'll back him all the way. Listen, one goal doesn't make up for the poor season that he's had, but at least they acknowledged through the week that it's been a poor season for him. Yeah. I fully expect next season, maybe with a bit of a break, get fit, a proper pre-season, crowd behind them. He'll be back in next season. But yeah, lovely to see them finishing the season, hopefully now strongly for the last 4 games. And then Thiago, he had a bit of luck, didn't he, with the goal deflecting just slightly. But it's the first. Hopefully it'll be the first. He's never really been a prolific scorer, but hopefully he'll start troubling the scorers a little bit more now for us in future. Yeah, absolutely. Keith, would you second that?
Yeah. I think what it just kind of showed last night is that, at our spine, when we've got our spine, there, like, obviously we just need to have a look at what's up front, but when he's on form, and we get our centre backs back and we get our midfield more settled, the spine is absolutely fine, and he's world class, and he showed he was world class, and he's had a huge amount to deal with this season, but he just showed what he was all about there last night, and it just kind of reinforces that when we've got everyone back, our spine is world class right through the middle of that pitch, of that team. It's world class. In regards to Mane, I thought Mane took his goal well, but he's such an instinctive player. He's just thinking too much. He's thinking way too much, in terms of what he's doing.
Trying too hard.
His form is dropped now, so he's overthinking what he needs to do. But the sooner the better we get him back to just being his instinctive best in terms of, the better. And that's just probably a break in football is what he needs. He just really needs a break, And Thiago as well. I thought Thiago was, in stages and spells last night, was really good. I think he's trying to do too much because he's got very little around him in terms of support at the moment. So again, he's charging in, he's getting himself caught out of position a little bit more because of, all of the position changes that are happening at the moment. I think when we get him into a settled midfield next year, we'll really see what he's all about next year. So that's what I took from.
As I said, it wasn't the game for the purist at all. I mean, there was some nice things in the game, but I just thought we were too open, playing the high line again. He's not going to change it. Young Reece Williams, to be fair to him, was thrown in with Nat Phillips, so you can't blame the two of them. Phillips particularly was good, I thought. He won everything in the air, didn't he, Dan? He was he's come. I'll tell you what, if all our players come back, the likes of Van Dijk, Gomez, Matip, and we sign Kanate or whatever and keep it back, and Phillips does go, he's engineering himself a nice little move, isn't he? Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you think about that, there was no one really in the move he had last season wasn't even to the German Bundesliga. It was the German second division, wasn't it? Yeah. Going into this season, the only team that were interested in him was Swansea, and that deal fell through. And thank God it did for Liverpool, because obviously we've needed him. But I think the games he's played this season, listen, I like the guy, but I think it's a bit of a stretch to ever think he's going to be, first choice Liverpool centre back. I think we've got to be honest on that one. But
I can certainly see him now getting a move to at least maybe a lower Premier League team. I think ultimately he might bottom out in the Championship, but I think he could definitely get a move to, a Burnley type team. I think they'd suit him with a low block.
Yeah.
And 100%, he's done brilliant for us, and well done to him. Honestly, he couldn't have expected any more. And brilliant. But as I say, it's unlikely that he's going to get too many games last season. I think he will ultimately end up moving away. But as I say, fair play to him.
What do you think, Keith Phillips? Well, I mean, he's been good for what he's had to do, hasn't he? He's been brilliant, I think.
Absolutely,
Brilliant.
he's come in and done a job. And I think Reece came in and did a job last night. A couple of scary, hairy moments, all right, But like, listen, if that's the centre back partnership for Thursday night, I'll be happy to put kids with the lack of pace. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
We're in all sorts of fucking shit against Rashford and Greenwood if the two lads play. So I think they've done fantastic. I think they've got great careers ahead of them, but they don't have careers ahead of them under Klopp, and it's basically down to their pace. We need strong runners, right? The way we play, 2 fullbacks bombing on, and we're basically playing inside the other team's half, right? For most of it, or the most we are is 10 yards inside our own half. So in that kind of system, you need pace at centre half, right? And I think obviously Kanate has that. I think Kabaka's got a bit of pace about him, and then we know what Van Dijk has, and we know what Gomez has.
Gomez's pace,
that's it. So, and I don't think the lads are blessed with that. I think they've got some great attributes. Reece is obviously only a kid; he's trying to learn his trade. Phillips will he'd go through a wall for you. Fantastic, old school English centre half. Brilliant. But they're not for us, I don't think, in terms of how we play.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I could see maybe even young Reece going out on loan next season. I don't think Klopp will sell him. He's a bit too early to sell him. Might just send him on loan for a season. And actually, you see, is it Watford and Norwich are coming up? They got promoted. Maybe Phillips could go to one of them if he's going to be a promoted side.
Don't sell centre backs. Just fucking hold on to the whole lot of them.
That's true.
Yeah, we might need them.
8 centre halves for next season. That's possible. Yeah. Let's hope it doesn't get down to that. Let's just hope we can get crowds back into the ground. I don't know if you know a bit more about that. I think they're hoping to get a few people in the last game of the season. Is that right, Dan? Do you know about that?
I do. Yeah, I'm in the ballots for one of the tickets. It's 10,000, isn't there, for the last game? So whether they get one, we'll wait and see. But I don't know how then they're planning on for next season. Are they looking at full crowds for next season from the start of next season?
I think they pretty much.
I'm not too sure. I haven't heard about that, but yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, whether they get a ticket for the Crystal Palace game or not, we'll wait and see. But if not, I'll be back in for the next season. I just can't wait. I mean, it's been an awful season for Liverpool anyway, but just the whole spectacle whenever you watch a game. I mean, listen, it's sometimes a little bit of a mirage when you have the crowd noise on, but if for some reason you maybe watch it without the crowd noise, or you watch a stream, if you're watching on your dodgy streams, not that I'd encourage anyone to do that, by the way, but if you was and it didn't have the crowd noise on, you realise it's like a training game.
Yeah,
and that, listen, you can make it as an excuse, but these guys are entertainers. The footballers, but they're entertainers, and they need that adrenaline. And when people have been saying, well, Mane looks like he's lost the spark this season, Firmino's not the player he was, how much has that affected them? Listen, it affects me watching them. I very rarely watch any other games other than the Liverpool match because there's just no interest in them.
Yeah.
And fingers crossed we get this crowd back and we get rid of this COVID. And I think that'll be a massive boost for Liverpool. Because listen, Jurgen Klopp from day one, not just with Liverpool, by the way, but with Dortmund, his whole thing has been generating this bond between the team and the fans, and it also works together. It worked at Dortmund, worked that mindset, and it's worked at Liverpool. So you take the fans away and the passion and the adrenaline, and it's made a huge difference. I mean, we know at Liverpool, when the crowd get behind them, you can be 2-0 down, you can even be 3-0 down, but you'd always think you've got a chance. It only takes a big tackle. Next thing, all the fans are involved, and suddenly we can suck that ball into the net. So we need that back next season. Fingers crossed, it's going to be full crowds.
Yeah. The Trinity goes back to Shankly near enough, and that's what we're all about, really. And we are at our best when when the team and the fans and the club itself are on the same journey and all on the same page. So, and it just, without having the fans in the stadium, it's just and even the away support is fantastic as well. Like their away support
It's definitely worth an amount of points to us, especially at home. Look at our home form up until we got beaten there. Was it Burnley beat us for the first thing to beat us? We were, was it 3.5 years, nearly 4 years unbeaten at home in the league. It would have been 4 years in April, actually. Palace were the last time to be a team to beat us. We're just unbeatable at home, and all of a sudden we just bang, no crowd there. And I mean, that 4-0 against Barca in the semi never happens without a crowd. Never, ever happens. Doesn't exist without a crowd, you know? So there's an example straight away. All the great comebacks Liverpool have had in their history just don't happen if you take the crowd out. You know what I mean? It'd be like us doing a podcast without the comments.
Yeah.
But we're not going to stay on too long. I'm just really getting a nice little chat, as you say, about yesterday's game. I'm just looking there at the table. What have we got? It's Liverpool on 57 points. We've 4 games to play. West Ham lost today to Everton, which was a great result for us. They're a point ahead of us, but they've also played an extra game. So they only have 3 games. Spurs are behind us, played an extra game. They're a point behind us, and they've played an extra game. Chelsea, well, they're a bit further, much further ahead of us, 7 points clear with 3 games. But it's Leicester City who are the ones that must be looking over their shoulder. They play United next. Then they've got, I think it's Chelsea, and then they've got Spurs. 3 tough games. And they're only, 6 points ahead. We have a game in hand of them. If we beat United, that's why, as you said, Keaton, Dan, Thursday night is pivotal for us. We'll know Thursday night about 10 o'clock what the situation, what the lie of the land is for Liverpool top 4, won't we? It'll be all over, more or less, I think, Thursday.
10 o'clock Thursday, we'll have a very good indication of what it's going to, you know. So, I put it this way, if Leicester turn over United on Tuesday and we don't get a result on Thursday, you know, it's probably insurmountable at that stage, to be honest with you. But obviously, if they don't get a result and we get a result on Thursday, well, then it's on. You know, it's on. We win our game in hand. We're only 3 points behind. It's one. You know, and they've got tough games on paper. You know, so.
But wouldn't United love to beat us?
I think. Listen, if the scenario wasn't the scenario in play this week in terms of, you know, United having to play all these games, obviously, right, not going to do us any favors. And us having to play them on Thursday night. If that scenario wasn't in play this week, I'd probably be a lot more positive, to be honest with you, saying, you know what, it's only 3 points. It's only 3 points. And it would feel to me like it's in our hands that if we won the 4 games, we'd be all right. I still think if we win the 4 games, we're going to be okay. And I think even 3 wins and a draw might be enough. I think 3 and a draw might be okay for us, to be honest with you. Might just
Leicester would have to lose 2, though, wouldn't they? Would Leicester have to lose 2 games out of 3?
They're not going to get out now, Chelsea. And then it's Spurs in the last game. That's listen. That's what them not. That's what them losing Tuesday night, right? Or not getting anything out of Tuesday night in terms of a point is all right. But if they win Tuesday night, I think we're in all sorts of shit. So
yeah, if they it's on Old Trafford as well, isn't it?
Yeah, they both fire.
So Dan, what do you think of the last 4? Obviously, we got United away, which draw must win. What is it? West Brom. I even forget the last game. I think it's a Palace at Anfield, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got Man United away, then we've got West Brom away, Burnley away. We've got 3 away games on the run, and then we finish with Crystal Palace. Listen,
which is probably good for us being away, but anyway.
It's just going to show you how mad the season is at this stage of the season to play 3 away games one after the other. That goes to show
crazy.
You
Crazy shit.
It's crazy shit.
Crazy, isn't it?
Absolutely unheard of, you know.
Yeah, but going back to it, I think as Keith said, I think if we can get 4 wins, I think we'll do it. But it's going to be this game on Thursday, as we sort of stated. This will be the one if the duo win at Man United. So let's just hope that that we turn up, because even last few years when we've been flying and they've not been doing so well, they've still managed to sort of eke a draw out of us. Maybe it might be the other way around this season. We might turn it on when we're not really expecting it. And I think if they did win that, and they sort of get the Champions League, within grasp again, I'm 100% confident then they wouldn't mess up in the last 3 games. West Brom, Burnley. West Brom, I'm sure, will be relegated by then. Burnley have got nothing really to play for. And then Crystal Palace at home, last game of the season.
Oh, no.
Even though
that'd be nervous.
No,
that'd be fucking nervous.
No,
Jesus Christ.
Nah. Even with 10,000 fans there on the last day, it'll be like, a bit of a party atmosphere, won't it? It'll feel like 60,000 fans there, 10,000 after playing in front of nobody. I'm 100% confident we'll turn Palace over on the last day.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, as we said, it'll be this week's two games. I think that are going to sort of set the scene.
Yeah. I mean, if I said to you now, I'll give you Palace the last game of the season, you win that game, you're in the top 4. You take it. You take your hand off, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You would absolutely take it. Do you know what? We'll just stay on for the half hour and we'll call it a night. Another 5 minutes and we'll call it a night because I want to watch something on the telly. But do you know what we'll do? I'll ask you for a prediction trick, even though I'm going to do a show on Tuesday night. Obviously, United build-up, a bit more in-depth United build-up. Dan, if you're free, you can pop on if you want. But
oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
What do you think? What would you be an early prediction? 1-0? Anything.
I hate predictions, but yeah, I'm going to go for 2-1. It's difficult to see us keeping a clean sheet.
Yeah.
With their forward line, their pace, even if Kabak comes back in, he's not like, although he's a bit quicker than Phillips and Williams, he's not like a gazelle. So I can't see us keeping a clean sheet.
A gazelle.
I can't keep a clean sheet. So let's go for 2-1 up the Reds, innit?
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Keith, listen, as I say, predictions are predictions. Nobody really gives a shit about them or score results or that like that. But just once we win the game, unless you're a bookmaker, or you put the odd bet on. But you know what we'll do? We'll finish this off with 1 or 2 little trivia questions, right? Anybody can put them in the comments if they want. 1 or 2 little trivia questions because we're going to stay on for a half hour, which is about 4 or 5 minutes. So,
just going to ignore my prediction, or is that all right?
Oh, sorry, no, I asked you, but you just calmed it like that, and I thought I meant to draw. I did. Go on. What do you think?
6-0. Nah, I think it might be a draw, lads. I think it might be a score draw. Well.
You know what? I've got another prediction. Match abandoned. 3-0 away win. Due to crowd.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can see it happening. They're planning it. It's going to happen.
I seen something on Twitter today, all right, and it was more chatter going on about this one than there was the last one. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you what, that would really, it really got. See, the problem is this is such a big game. The world watches. That's what the United fans know. All the media are there.
That's why they went for it.
And that's why they're going for it.
If this had been some sort of mid-table, 2 mid-table teams going at each other, the match would have been called off with the schedule the way it is, and the other team would have been awarded the 3 points. Yeah. Absolutely, it would have been done and dusted. They wouldn't have even tried to play the picture. They'd have come down with a big fucking stick and said, "Right, lads, you can't go on. You can't carry on with that." So the fact that it's United and the fact that it's one of the big games and big paydays, right, in terms of viewership, that is the only reason this fucking thing is still going on. So listen. Hopefully
it's not one of the big games.
We don't want to see it called off. We want to see it. We want to see the match. You don't want to see it called off. I don't anyway.
Not again. Anyway.
Yeah, just beat
them well. We'll finish it with a trivia. No one put in the trivia questions in the comments, so we're going to have to make them up. Dan, growing up as a kid, what was your favourite cartoon as a kid growing up? One of your favourite cartoons?
Cartoon. I used to like DuckTales, Scrooge McDuck.
DuckTales. Woo!
Yeah. On the start, he used to like dive into a big swimming pool full of money and then come up and spit a few coins out of his mouth. That was great. I used to love that, yeah. DuckTales, that was good. DuckTales.
Keith, cartoon. I don't think I ever asked you cartoon.
I'm trying to think. I used to love Thundercats. I think I've told you this before.
Oh, I thought.
Love Thundercats were brilliant. Thundercats.
You know what? You rejigged me memory there, Keith. Because it really, I completely forgot. It should have been Master of the Universe and then Thundercats for me.
He-Man.
Yeah, loved it.
And the Masters of the Universe.
I had every single figure of that 10 times over, all broken and in bits. But I absolutely loved Master of the Universe and then Thundercats. Yeah.
Skeletor.
Grumpy Skeletor. Yeah.
Has anyone ever seen the film Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren?
Yeah.
It got absolutely panned by the critics, but they don't know anything. It's brilliant. It's absolutely awesome. If anyone out there is watching it or hasn't seen it, watch it. It's brilliant.
I ran out of cartoon, to be fair now. Really, you know. Your first record now, back in the day when I bought it, it was a vinyl 45 that you used to buy. I don't know what age you were, Dan, but it's probably a cassette tape for you. But what was your first, like vinyl or cassette tape that you bought as a kid?
You know what? I'd love to say something. I'd love to say something really cool, right? But the first record that I can ever remember buying, I went halves with my brother, and we bought the ANFIELD Rap, just the CD single.
John Barnes?
So that would have been.
Yeah.
It was the 88 Cup final song, so I would have been 7, and my elder brother would have been about 11. And we sort of scrambled a couple of pound pocket money together and bought that. Yeah, ANFIELD Rap. So that's the first one. I would have loved to have said something dead cool, but that's the first one I can remember buying.
That is cool. Keith, can you remember? Keito?
I think it was probably AHA.
Oh yeah.
It was like the AHA.
Class.
1984, 85.
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
I could have had something before that. But the only one I can actually remember having the physical copy in my hand. So I think it was probably AHA. I think Hunting High and Low, I think was the album.
Class, absolute class. I love a bit of AHA. I think mine was Annie Lennox. The one with the angels in it. The one talking to an angel. You know that one? It must be an angel. Oh, shit.
There must be an angel singing in my heart.
That's it.
Hang on, I've got my guitar there. I'll get it out.
Get your guitar out. Go on. He sings songs and everything he does. Come on, Dan, no problem.
Nah, you've got it. So if anyone wants to hear me sing, subscribe to the channel. There's more coming up soon. I'll take requests.
Take requests, yeah. Gareth Brooks, he was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant. Someone's saying here, Dave, do you think Salah is going to Chelsea? Don't think so. I can't see that. Jesus Christ. No. Can't say it. Sorry.
No.
No, definitely not. Tell you what, they're going to be strong next year. They're going to be tough next year. They're going to be a hard nut to prove next year, Chelsea. That's
a good one there off Rory Fitz.
Yeah, bad. Have all the albums. Yeah, have all the albums. Actually, his earlier stuff is even better. Off the wall. A bit like me. Off the wall. But no, he's brilliant. All right, we'll finish it on this question, right? Finish it on this question. What was a film, you don't know, either a kid or an adult, it doesn't matter, that made you cry? That you actually, a little tear came down your eye. You're watching it. It's going to be a tough one.
You know what? It would have to be probably when I was a kid. Watership Down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Watership Down when you're a kid. Yeah. It's emotional, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it is, yeah. All the little rabbits dying.
Yeah, I don't think they get away with that, but these days, the 80s were a bit of a funny time for kids telly and that, wasn't it? I don't think they'd be able to make that these days.
There's a lot of stuff they wouldn't be able to blazing saddles. That wouldn't get on the telly. Yeah. You just don't know what you're going to get. Arsenal playing tonight. You don't know what you're going to get. Here's a great film.
Which film is it?
The Green Mile. Yeah, you go, Keith. What did you cry? What did you cry over when you were a kid or an adult?
Struggling to try and think what a good bawling movie. Probably something like the first one. It was probably something like The Champ or something like that. I'm sure I bawled to that at some stage. Something like that, yeah. Champ, yeah. It is a movie.
There you go. No, there you go. Royston has just put it in.
Ricky Schroeder's in it. Is it Ricky Schroeder and John Boyce, is it? Yeah.
I think Watership Down actually would have been about around my era time, fucking crying at something like that. Do you know what's actually very emotional as well? Do you remember Gladiator? When he comes home and his wife and child, if you see the film Gladiator.
Yeah, of course, Russell Crowe.
That one is fairly, for that 2-3 minutes, is fairly teary, let's say. Mm-hmm. And then you have Braveheart as well, the ending scene. Oh my God, we won't mention that. The hung drawn and quartered scene at the end. Jesus Christ. But guys, you can rock and roll if you want. I might get dug on and just stay on for another few minutes. Stay on or go. Up to you, boys.
No, I'll stay on for a bit. I don't know where anyone's picked up. My kids are downstairs shouting. I was on one the other day, and someone said to me, "Was that your kids shouting in the background?" And I was like, "Yeah, they're killing each other." Yeah. So I don't know if anyone picked up, but they're going at it again. But I think they've settled down now. They've either settled down or they killed each other. But either way, I'll stay on for a couple of minutes.
Either way, you're all right. Either way, you're sorted.
Yeah. Nothing I can do about it now.
You listen, guys. You can get your own questions in if you want that. Anything you want. Stay on, lads. Rory Fitz doesn't want us to go.
Yes, well in, Rory. Rory, I hope you're subscribing to. Make sure you subscribe to me, Rory, as well for more golden nuggets from the Mighty Dead TV.
Absolutely. Don't worry, I'll give you a good shout out.
Rory knows his stuff now. Rory is a good lad. Rory really knows.
Oh, I asked him to come on. He said he's a better what does he say? He's not a great talker, he said, so
better commenter.
Yeah.
He knows the stuff. He knows the stuff.
Dave, sing us some songs. No thanks. Yeah, that'd be a bad idea. You get your guitar out if you want there.
No, next time I come on, Dave, I'll tune it up and we'll rehearse before. And what song should we do? A Liverpool song.
Long and winding.
Oh, it's a bit maudlin. I mean, I love the Beatles, but come on, it's a bit maudlin.
Oh no, that's the favorite. That's my favorite song, the Beatles. That's my favorite song, Long and Winding Road. Wow,
it's a good song.
It's a class song, and they weren't even going to sing it apparently.
They
were giving it to Tom Jones. Do you know that? Tom Jones was asked to sing that song.
Yeah,
and he turned it down. Well,
I bet he has sung it at some point. He sung everything else, hasn't he? Old
it's
Tom.
unusual to be loved.
Yeah.
Tom.
But no. Listen, just anything else you want to fill in next 5 or 10 minutes is up to you, boys. The football chat just died.
Well, it hasn't been a great season, has it? You best stop talking about films and music and telly and all that's well better. What's this earbud? Someone said I was earbud. I've never even heard of it. I've heard of an earbud. Earbud. I've heard of them.
I haven't heard of it.
I nearly made myself deaf once with an earbud. Don't stick them down your ear canal, guys. Not good.
I think they're talking dogs. I think we kids have watched. I think there's a load of them. There's like 7 or 8 different Bud movies, and it's all talking dogs. I think.
Yeah.
Rory Fitz is throwing them in. Look at this.
Here's a question for us. What do we think about? You know, who are we gonna like in terms of next season? Like, you know, do we think Jones will have a bit of a season? Do we think Elliott back in form? Do you think he's got a chance next season? So
I would have thought Jones would have been more involved. Dan, did you? I thought he would have kicked on. I know he's had 1 or 2 little niggles and stuff. I thought Jones would have been a lot more involved.
Well, to be fair, I think he has been. I think if you look at his stats for this season, I think he's made more start appearances this season than he had in the rest of his sort of career combined. So I think in terms of that, he's done well. Obviously, the last few weeks, I think he's had a few injuries, hasn't he? So I think it has been a bit of a breakthrough season for Curtis Jones. And obviously now we need to see next season, not just making up the numbers and playing. We need to start seeing more in terms of goals, seeing assists, and starting to, put more of a stamp on games instead of just sort of being there making up the numbers. So, yeah, in terms of Harvey Elliott, he's done well, hasn't he, at Blackburn? He's done brilliant. I've seen that great goal he scored the other day where it's just a little think over the keeper. What I think will happen with him is he'll come back, he'll do pre-season training, obviously, and the pre-season games, and Klopp will assess them. But then I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up going on loan probably to a Premier League team next season.
Yeah.
But I think they'll have a look at him.
I mean, he is that good. There's even a chance they might keep him. They might.
They might do.
It's possible. Yeah.
I think they'll assess him and work out what's going to happen. But
I think he brings something that we don't have, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think he could bring what we'd all hoped Casey was going to bring in terms of breaking through the lines, dribbling past players. And he's just made a biscuit. So we can't rely on him. But we don't have a player like that really. Like I think Ox could probably go, to be honest with you, or it doesn't feel like Klopp trusts him now at the moment.
No.
And like who else do we have? Strong running midfielders, who can go past the player and break that line and do something against a low block. We don't have anything against it. We don't have any type of players like that. So, like I'd be amazed if we don't bring him back into the fold next year in terms of season. He has the Blackburn.
Possible. Do you know what it is? I think it depends on what we do in the transfer market. If he gets who he wants, there's talk about your man with DePaul or Rue DePaul, that guy from Italy, stuff like that. If he doesn't get who he wants, he could say, well, we can always bring young Harvey back.
Are we signing Rue Paul? Are we?
Rue Paul, is that our name?
the drag queen.
Not even know who it is.
At least they'll be entertaining, won't he?
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, we need an entertainer in the midfield. But what do you think then? Obviously, we need a striker, lads, big time. I don't know who's out there for the type of money. We don't even know what the money's going to be. We don't know what type of. I think the big thing is Champions League or not. If we get Champions League, I think we could go big. If we don't, I think what FSG are going to do.
Big, with or without Champions League, I still think we're going to go big in the summer, to be honest with you. Now, whether or not we get our target because we don't have Champions League football is a different question, but I think the money is there and I think they will go big. I think they will go big in terms of spending money. But like, just really depends on whether or not we can get a player in of that caliber who's enough to write off the season of the Champions League. So, and sometimes if you want to do that, you've just paid them the wage. You've got to give them what they need. The likes of Fernandes came to United and didn't really, his first season he didn't have, did he? He was Europa League until last season. So, you can bring them in, but you're probably going to have to throw a load of money at them to get them in.
Yeah, big wages.
I think we have to spend big, to be honest with you. If we're anyway serious about contending, we're going to have to. Like, look at Chelsea last year. Chelsea spent what, $250 million in the close season last year, and now they're but they've got a decent manager in, and it's coming good now. They look like a proper team now, to be honest with you. Good manager in, good systems. Very hard to break down, hard to beat, and they've got goals in them from all over the place, right? So, like, we can't stand still, and we need investment. That's the season has pretty much told us that. Like, there are areas that we need to invest in, and it's as simple as that. And I think we would have been absolutely no bother with top four this season, even with all the injuries, if we could have converted some of our chances. Right, so we have to address the fact that we're 140 chances and 4 goals. Right, that's fucking
Jesus Christ.
And I don't know whether or not you can gamble on it just being a break. I don't think you can gamble on it being a break. Right, so I think you need to invest. Certainly in the 9. I think we need a number 9. Left foot, right foot, head. Someone just score. That's all they do.
I mean, look at Cavani at United. What do you get? 8 out of 9 games. I mean, imagine getting someone in like him. For a season or two. That's a proven goal scorer. Even pay a bit of wages for him. But you know what I mean?
Suarez.
I would take him back. I'd take him back for 20 minutes. I would. Absolutely would. Absolutely.
I know there's a lot of talk about it.
But not as our primary striker, right? I wouldn't take him back in as a primary striker. I'd take him back in to come off the bench and affect the game with 20 minutes to go. But I would not take him in as being our number 1, number 9.
He wouldn't come though. He wouldn't come to Liverpool. He's going to be coming off the bench 20 minutes.
No, but, I don't. Sorry, Keith. I was just going to say, the character that Suarez is, I think if he comes to Liverpool, no matter what had been told, he'd think, "Don't worry, I'll be the number 9 there after a few weeks."
Yeah, he's a cheeky cunt. He's a cheeky.
It's not that. He believes in himself, doesn't he? I think he'd think, even if Klopp said, "Are you coming in as a backup striker?" He'd think, "Yeah, whatever, we'll see." And his performances in training and whatever else would get him the nod. And I'd love to see him back. I don't think it'll happen.
No,
it won't happen. But I'd love to see it.
Not the way he engineered his own move out of there. Like, an engineer.
Never happened now. What a player he was, though, guys. What a player he was.
But you look at Mason Greenwood. Mason Greenwood's got what, 5 goals in 5 games. He's 18 years of age. If you're fucking good enough, put him in there. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Like, it doesn't necessarily need to be a 100 million striker. If you've got a decent striker, someone who could score goals, we will create chances. What we don't have, I suppose, is natural finishers, right? Salah gets his volume of goals off the back of a significant amount of chances. He gets a huge amount of chances, right? We create a huge amount of chances. I think if we had a natural striker, a natural number 9, we would score a huge amount of goals. It's as simple as that. We would score.
Who do you get, Keith? Who's out there? There's not a massive amount
out there. Yeah. Maybe that lad from Salzburg, Daka. He looks like he's got a left foot. He can score his left foot, right foot. Yeah, he can score his left foot, right, and he can score with his head. So he can score with everything. Very few strikers out there can do that. Both feet and score with their head as well. Harry Kane, right? We're not going to get Harry Kane, but it's that caliber of what you need out there. But one thing that Klopp can do is unearth.
Nuggets.
Yeah, so he can do that. So I think if we could get somebody in who's a natural finisher, to be honest with you, I think you know, they'll get their fair share of goals. Like even Jota, I don't think is a natural finisher. There's more to his game, you know. He closes down and, you know, he does other bits and pieces around the pitch, to be honest with you. But an out and out natural striker, right? Is something I think, you know, we desperately need. We desperately need.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Just look at the shots conversion rate. It's just terrible.
Yeah.
You know, Dan, what do you think? Who would you like to see come in striker in the summer? Or do you think we need number 9?
You're putting me on the spot there again, Dave, with my knowledge, the European football knowledge. Listen, the guys who I'd love us to see sign, we're not going to get. Obviously, I'd love to see Haaland, but that's not going to happen whether we get Champions League or not. You know, if we could get him, I'd love to see Suarez. I don't think that's going to happen. So, yeah, I think it's going to have to be, we're going to have to look outside the box and put our faith in Klopp and his scouting network and Martin Edwards. Let's face it, the best signings that we've made since Klopp's been here, they've been slightly unheralded when we signed them. When we signed Mane, no one was convinced. When we signed Salah, no one was convinced. Was they really? And they've been absolutely brilliant. Even last season, Jota, everyone was like, Jota? And he's been brilliant. Funny enough, the signing who was being heralded more than anyone, and everyone was saying, oh, we've got to get Thiago, and he's flattered to deceive, hasn't he? He's had some good games, but he certainly hasn't, fitted the bill of what we were expecting. So
I think he's been asked to do a lot. I think he's been asked to do a huge.
Oh yeah. Listen, there's been mitigating circumstances. I remember Keith the first couple of games he played. Chelsea, when he come off the bench in the second half, he was brilliant. He set a Premier League passing record.
He was brilliant. Yeah.
No, and then the next game was the Everton game. He was man of the match. Everyone forgets. And then Richarlison plows him after he thought he'd been given man of the match. And then he was out for
2.5 months.
He was out, and he had COVID, and then he's come back to an injury crisis. And instead of being the cherry on the icing on the cake, the foundation of the cake is completely gone. Do you know what I mean? So let's see next season with a better team around him. He might be, but what point is making it? The big signing that we were all expecting, he hasn't done it. So maybe Klopp can think outside the box and pull a striker out that we're not expecting, because he's done that before, hasn't
he? Yeah. The thing about it is, as you know, lads, Liverpool especially, these transfers are worked on for months, if not a year or more. They're not just pulled out of a box. They're literally, it's all scientific now. Equations. It's nearly a big blackboard, a big equation, and you have to get the answer right at the end. Liverpool have been doing well for the last few years. Michael Edwards and all the transfer crew that are there have been unbelievable. I mean, we've got more hits than misses, lads. Let's be fair about it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Rare as if we get a miss. Very rare. Okay, you could maybe Minamino, but we got him on the cheap. It was only 7.5 million. He'd sell for more.
We'll get that money back, won't we?
We'll get the money back, exactly. You could say Naby Keita. You could say Naby. That was a big, nearly 60 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That doesn't look like it's ever going to work.
I think you're going to see a huge amount. I think you're going to see a lot of kind of unusual deals, loan deals, options to buy, taking over wages. There's a lot of clubs around Europe who are struggling, right, and probably struggling a lot worse than we are in terms of their finances, not being able to sell, not being able to buy. It's going to be an unusual market this year. So you might see some stuff really coming in from left field that you wouldn't have seen previously. Somebody might just come available, or something might happen, And I think both the Spanish clubs are really going to be out of the mix. I can't see them spending much at all, to be honest with you, right?
Well, they're still clinging on to the Super League, aren't they?
Yeah, and Juventus, the three of them.
They're clinging on, so they've got to have. They must have some. Well, they have got dire financial issues, haven't they? And they're just. I don't know what they're expecting, but they're clinging on for some sort of money after on the Super League, aren't they?
I'd be amazed. I'd be amazed if they're in the Champions League next year. To be honest with you, that's gone on so long.
I think they're going to get kicked out. Those three.
Yeah.
And Liverpool be reinstated.
Give five spots to the English teams.
Yeah.
Due to our coefficients.
Listen, as you said,
the way that whole thing folded, lad. The way that whole thing folded, that deck of cards, that just fucking came crashing down. It was so fast, right? So fast, and it was put into retreat so quickly. There's something going on behind the scenes there. Something dodgy going on behind the scenes there in terms of, someone's getting looked after some way. So, we'd be amazed. There could be some sort of backdoor to get us into the Champions League next season. You wouldn't know.
We did it before, remember? In 2005 when we won the European Cup and everything got flipped out.
Yeah.
But
listen, I'm going to have to shoot off. I'm going to have to go and get the kids ready for tomorrow, all right? Listen, great talking to you both. Look forward to chatting with you again, all right?
Keith, thank you very much for coming in.
I say, seeing as Keith's breaking up the party, then I'll bail as well. Because he made me feel bad then, saying you've got to get the kids ready for school. I remember I've still got mine downstairs.
You know what we'll do? We'll all Gareth Bale. The three of us will go at the same time, right?
Fair enough.
All right, I'll just give you the outro, as they say. That's great. As I say, I'll probably do something Tuesday night, the big United game. Dan, top of the range legend from the Mighty Reds TV. Your link will be down below.
I hope I pass the audition and I'm going to come back on.
Just about.
Dan, I might be in a bit of trouble here. You've done so well. So, all right.
Right, lads. Thank you very much for coming on. As I said,
thank you, everyone. See you later.
Nice one. See you later. Thanks for the comments. Cheers. Bye-bye. Cheers, lads. Stay safe. Big one Thursday, baby. Let's go.